I've tried more med spa softwares than I'd like to admit and made 2 years worth of mistakes. Some of those mistakes include wasted money and spending hours on training materials and complex systems that seemed impossible. And the decision to consolidate almost our entire tech stack into one new system is the single biggest thing that has saved us thousands of dollars and endless hours of time. I'm Alissa Tyler. I've opened and scaled 4 med spas over the last 3 years, and my goal today is to hopefully help you learn from my mistakes. I'm not gonna hand you a generic top 10 software list. I'm walking you through exactly what we use now after more than 2 years of real trial and error to finally find what I think is the best medical software system of 2026. Here's what nobody told me when I was opening our first med spa. You don't just need a medical EMR. You need scheduling, billing, inventory, e-prescribing, lab orders, forms, and a way to understand where your patients are actually coming from. Before we switched, our stack looked something like this. We had software for patient records, another platform for online scheduling and appointment notifications, a separate billing platform, a separate e-prescribing tool, a separate system for lab orders, and a separate tool for intake and consent forms. I know. I get a headache just thinking about it, trust me. And not to mention, none of them talk to each other. Every time a patient's information needed to be added from one system to another, whether that was sending intake forms, taking payment, or sending a prescription, somebody on my team was doing that by hand. That meant entering the same patient's name and contact information over and over. And as many of us know, anytime a human is manually entering data between systems, this is exactly where errors can happen, like misspelling a patient's name on a prescription or a receipt, creating duplicate patient accounts, or simply letting something fall through the cracks. So we decided to switch to Lobbie, our current EMR, for one main reason. Most EMRs out there are built for general medical practices. They have complex insurance coding, hospital billing workflows, and things we will never touch in a cash pay clinic. And at the same time, they're missing the things we actually need every day, like a branded self-scheduling link, marketing attribution, KPI dashboards, and a real integration with a CRM like GoHighLevel. That is the key difference between Lobbie and other EMRs I've used. It was built specifically for med spas and cash pay clinics, so it has everything we actually use built in and none of the extra things that we don't. I can now tell when software is trying to mold itself into this industry, and that is exactly how it felt with the other systems we've used in the past. Here's what our EMR looks like now. One login, one system, and we were able to stop using several platforms and cut back on significant expenses. Here's a high-level overview of what is included and integrated directly into our system. First is self-scheduling. Patients can book themselves 24/7, and you can customize the look of your self-scheduler to fit your brand. Next is automated intake and outtake forms, which can be sent automatically based on however you choose to set them up. E-prescribing, which is built in, so we don't need a separate pharmacy portal, which is huge. Then lab orders, of course, which are sent and viewed directly in the platform, which has also been a game changer for us. It also includes controlled substance log and payments directly taken through Lobbie. Last, and my personal favorite, is a revenue and marketing dashboard broken down by service, provider, and location. It's also exportable as a CSV. So if you use Claude like me or another AI platform, I love uploading our CSV files and getting really good breakdowns that help me make even more informed marketing decisions. This was just a high-level overview of the features we use. I've had a lot of personal experience setting them all up and using them myself at the front desk. So if one of those features specifically caught your attention, comment the name below if you want me to do a full video breakdown of exactly how we use it. If you are already using an EMR at your med spa and you're considering switching, I completely understand why you might feel hesitant at first to even be looking into something new, because it can seem very overwhelming. I've been there. I personally managed the switch to Lobbie for all of our 4 clinics, and I want to tell you how that went because it went much different than I expected. Honestly, I was planning for it to go much worse than it actually did, and that is one of the things that convinced me that this was something I have to share with other people, because when we switched, our staff was comfortable using Lobbie by the end of day 1. Yes, the end of day 1, that is not an exaggeration. It did not take a week of training or a month for it to finally click. By the end of day 1, they told me they were completely comfortable. I remember checking in and asking everybody how they're feeling about it nonstop throughout the day. And I kept getting very calm reactions like, it's going well, the system is very user-friendly. I think that's what made it so easy to pick up on, is it truly is so intuitive and user-friendly, where a lot of EMRs are built for much more complex practices and therefore much harder for the staff to learn. To me, that is what built specifically for med spas actually means in practice. I'm not going to deep dive into every feature in today's video, but I really wanted to spend a little bit more time on this one because it is something I use every single day, and it is something I have never seen before in a medical software. For years after opening, we could not clearly connect our bookings and revenue back to the marketing that actually drove it. Well, at least not without hours of manual work, but with Lobbie, UTM tracking is built directly into self-scheduling. Every source, whether it is a paid ad, event, referral partner, social media, or something else, can have its very own track link and even its own QR code. It actually also does go beyond just self-scheduling and scheduling itself, which I'm happy to do a whole deep dive on it, but it really has been able to capture every single attribution source for the most part that's not manual. Then the results show in a dashboard with the appointment outcome and lifetime revenue broken down by marketing source. We use this for paid ads, events, referral partnerships, social media, and basically anything else we are spending time or money on. It can take hours every week or even require a full-time employee to put this data together manually when you do not have a feature like this. This is truly what allowed me to stop guessing about which marketing was working and spend more time on what actually brings us in revenue and patients. Similar to the revenue dashboard, you can also export this data into a CSV. I use that in Claude weekly, and I cannot begin to tell you how much time this has saved me. The one separate system we still use is GoHighLevel, mainly for lead management before someone becomes a patient. A lead flows in from one of our forms, flows into GoHighLevel, and then our text and email automations send them a Lobbie booking link. The reason the two systems work so well together is that Lobbie has a GoHighLevel integration. For example, when someone cancels or no-shows an appointment, the integration can automatically move them into the correct pipeline stage. So our reminders to rebook can then begin. I have many other videos that go deeper into our GoHighLevel setup and automations, even a free template. So I will link those below rather than going too far into that today, but I would be happy to do more videos on that because it has saved us so much time. I am going to keep emphasizing it because it has literally changed our lives. So in summary, we use GoHighLevel for lead management and follow-up before someone books, and we use Lobbie as our EMR for scheduling, patient records, payments, prescribing, labs, forms, reporting, and everything else. These two systems are connected and so complementary of each other, so far less falls through the cracks. This is what currently runs our 4 locations and counting on far less software and spend than we started with a few years ago. I'm going to link Lobbie below. They offer free demos, and I genuinely think it is worth 30 minutes of your time to get a walkthrough and ask any additional questions you may have, even if you are happy with your current EMR and are just curious about whether something else could work better. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, subscribe for more videos like this one, and I will see you in the next one.